You're live.
Live from the Drowned World Tour of Los Angeles.
It's raining pretty heavily here in LA. We also have an audience member because my sister is here.
Mm-hmm.
So if you hear cackling like a witch in the background, that's her. You need to look up Faye Dunaway.
What about her?
Because today is her birthday.
Yeah.
And I don't know how old she is. But
does she want us to know how old she is?
Well, I mean, she should be lucky to have lived this long.
Well, you know, Dorothy Faye Dunaway is her real name.
So in honor of Faye's birthday, we chose films that we thought were...
Now, she was born in 1941.
So how old is she? That's what I was asking.
Well, how old is she?
Just look up Wikipedia. Like, just Google her name and it will tell you exactly how old she is. Not everything has to be
I thought you were good at math.
Not everything has to be on IMDb.
Well, I like IMDb.
Anyway, it tells you right there in the corner. So she's 82 years old today. So the films that we chose are films that you thought were good, but not like her most popular.
The B-side.
Because if we put Mommy Dearest, everyone's going to vote for that.
Or Network.
Network, or like
Bonnie and Clyde.
So these were like the B-sides.
Although you haven't seen Bonnie and Clyde, which
No.
we need to remedy because that's excellent.
But the options were Barfly, Arizona Dream, The Wicked Lady, Dunstan Checks In, and The Handmaid's Tale. And Handmaid's Tale 1.
Which I was happy to revisit. It's been several years since I watched this.
Well, I read the book. I didn't know that there was a movie until you told me, and I didn't remember the book. I knew that it was about women who were being oppressed in some way, but I didn't recall until we started the movie that it was about fertility. And
neither of us have. And I've read Margaret Atwood's novel years ago, and some follow-ups to it because she writes a lot of like post-apocalyptic stuff actually. We neither of us have seen the Elizabeth Moss-led television series, which began in 2017.
But we can talk about that. The IMDb synopsis, I think, is sufficient. Under a dystopian religious tyranny, most women cannot conceive children. Those young women who can live in a form of sexual slavery to provide children for influential families. So it's like the near future. The United States, like part of it is referred to as the Republic of Gilead.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like there's like a civil war happening. It's very heavily steeped in like religious beliefs and morality.
Mm-hmm. And feels like Nazi era Germany.
So the influential family we focus on is the like commander of this region we're in, played by Robert Duvall, and his wife, played by Faye Dunaway.
Serena Joy.
Or as I kept thinking, Serena Cha-Cha.
Mm-hmm.
But they want a baby. She can't conceive. They really want a baby. It's definitely a status symbol. So
and only white babies.
Well, we can talk about
mm-hmm.
it. So the opening of the film is this woman named Kate, her husband and her young daughter, like trying to cross the border. They get hemmed up. The father gets killed. The daughter like runs away, and Kate is captured. And then we have this scene that's like they're testing women to see who's fertile. She makes it. She makes the cut. And then her name is changed to, like, it's spelled like Offred.
Offred. Mm-hmm.
And she's the one Robert Duvall and Faye Dunaway choose to try to have her baby. But there's no point because Robert Duvall's sterile.
And she's one of several handmaids they've had.
And we find out that he's just using these women to like enjoy sex with, but they're playing this game where like there's this ceremony and Faye Dunaway has to be part of it. So it's like this really sterile, unpleasant experience. But then he's taking these women on the side and trying to hook up with them. And we see it never ends well for the women. Mm-hmm. The previous one hung herself, and Faye's threatening Offred, telling her like, you know, you need to follow the rules. But on the side, Offred, I want to call her Offred, she is hooking up with Aidan Quinn,
mm-hmm.
who's like the butler,
the
chauffeur, a young guy, handsome compared to Robert Duvall.
Well,
she's hooking up with him, and Faye doesn't know that, but at a point she's like, you know, I really want this baby, so why don't you start having sex with other men? I know. Why don't you have sex with Aidan Quinn?
He lives above the garage.
I'm sure he would do it if I asked him. And it's like, bitch, we've been hooking up. But anyway, they start hooking up. And everything culminates with Robert Duvall takes, what's that lady's name? Natasha Richardson?
Yes.
He takes her to some party, which we need to talk about. It's like a sex party, basically. And Faye Dunaway finds out, which means it's curtains for Natasha Richardson. So she confronts Robert Duvall and says, like, you need to help me. And he's like, sorry, I can't. So she kills him.
And she's pregnant now.
She's pregnant with Aidan's baby. And then Aidan sets it up so it looks like the police are coming to arrest her, but really they're there to escape. And they do effectively escape. And that's the end of the film. She's kind of free, living in the woods. So I thought, I didn't remember the ending of the book or whatever, and I didn't. And watching this movie, I felt, my very first thought was like, oh, too bad this is not a mini series. And it is. Or I can see how someone 30 years later thought that it should be expanded on, because I was very unsatisfied not knowing what happens to Kate.
Well, it's hopeful because she's living in the woods and she's most likely going to give birth to her child.
Right. But it really makes me want to watch season 2 of the Handmaid's Tale TV series.
Where they take off from the book.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm just going to go through my notes. So when the women are kind of getting to know each other at first, one of the women says that she, like, when they're on the bus ride to the camp or whatever, she's like, oh, I got hemmed up for gender treachery.
Oh, by one of the women, you mean Elizabeth McGovern.
Okay. And she's
Moira.
saying gender treachery because she's a lesbian. I thought that was funny.
Because you didn't recognize her. She was quite big in the 80s from He Said, She Said, and she's having a baby.
Then who's the lady? Oh, Aunt Lydia.
Victoria Tennant, who used to be the paramour of Steve Martin.
She is like the leader of the women, like she's controlling them and training them. And when we first meet her, she's describing the women, like how important it is for the ones who can give birth to do so. And she's talking about how these women who didn't want to have children were lazy and sluts, and like indoctrinating them, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, they're breaking them down. And there's also kind of a troubling ceremony where they allow the women to tear apart this man who they are told has raped a pregnant handmaid and who lost the baby because of it, because they're all
that's towards the end of the movie,
right? But
yeah,
but they're conditioned to the degree. Again, so this is directed by Volker Schlöndorff, who won the Palme d'Or for The Tin Drum, which is an excellent novel by Günter Grass as well. But from the new German wave, I feel like it's very fitting that a German directed this version of the film. It feels very much like the 1940s.
When we see the women together, they're sort of like grouped into categories. So there's like a group of, like, the handmaids are wearing red, and then we see this group of women wearing like blue that you said look like the flight attendants for Emirates Airlines.
Yeah, they do.
The ceremony I thought was very interesting, like relating it to sort of like modern day and like this notion. I think the overall theme of this movie is like people having this fake morality, but then behind closed doors, they do all the same shit that they're condemning other people for.
Yeah.
And like this stupid ceremony where the wife has to be there, and it's like this very sterile sexual act. And it's like, but your husband's out here having sex with prostitutes.
The pun intended on sterile.
Sure. But yeah, I thought that was very interesting and very timely. I thought that we see one woman walking around the town pregnant, and the way they're treating her is like she's like an angel.
Well, and the wife
or a decorated veteran.
The wife that's with her is showing her off to the others.
And the lady's walking around like, yeah, I'm that bitch. Like, I thought that was funny. You love to talk about how Sigourney Weaver was supposed to be in this movie.
Was.
And I just don't see her in that role at all.
Hollywood did not want to make this film. The producer shopped this around for, because he bought the rights from Margaret Atwood in '86. This came out in 1990. So, but the irony of Sigourney Weaver having to drop out because he had trouble replacing her. Nobody wanted to step up. Jodie Foster was offered the role. So Natasha Richardson kind of helped save this film, if you will. But ironically, Sigourney had to drop out because she became pregnant.
Well,
and I would have loved to see the Sigourney Weaver Faye Dunaway showdown, but
Robert Duvall keeps trying to get at Natasha Richardson like outside of the times they're supposed to be having sex, and it really bothered me that because I feel like this is very common behavior for men in particular. Like, he's telling her like, you play a mean game, and it's like, fool, I'm not playing. I don't want you. Like, I'm not playing. I do not want to have sex with you. And just like the audacity of this man. I mean, you could talk for hours about just, yeah.
Well, just think about how many films that you've seen about like Jewish women that have had affairs with the Nazi soldiers, and this was the game that they had to play to survive.
Well, yeah, because it's complicated, because they're also doing something that they feel like they need to do to survive, but then it's just like these men are so delusional and sick that they think like you actually want it. Like, no, I'm being threatened with death and torture,
and your
like,
wife is a horrible shrew that I have to deal with.
So it's like, yeah, I'm doing this because I have to, not because I want to. And then when Natasha Richardson goes to the doctor to get a checkup, then the doctor tries to have sex with her. He's like, Robert Duvall's sterile, and if you can't conceive, they're going to do to you like they did the last lady. So let me go on ahead and get you pregnant. And then she, of course, says no. And then getting back to the scene you referenced, there's this big ceremony where a woman who had sex with that doctor gets hung. And then subsequently a guy who they are accusing of rape gets like mauled to death by these women. But then we find out that he did not rape a woman. He's actually allied to try to help these women escape. Mm-hmm. And so the people in charge set his ass up.
Mm-hmm. The other thing, the doctor that propositions her, I forget his name, but that's the man we saw recently in that movie Catch the Heat with Rod Steiger, written by Sterling Silliphant. Oh, that was really bad. But
there's a moment when who ties up Natasha?
Elizabeth McGovern and Aunt Lydia. Victoria Tennant gets tied up by Natasha and Elizabeth.
That scene got lost on me because she can't tell who did it, and she
knows Elizabeth did because she lured her into the bathroom, but she doesn't know that Offred was involved.
That's right.
And then we meet up with McGovern again at this orgy party.
Then there's a moment when Robert Duvall's trying to win over Natasha Richardson, and he shows her like some fashion magazines like Cosmo, and he's telling her like, don't tell my wife.
Serena doesn't understand.
Yeah. And then she's asking him for a favor. So she's like, well, can you get me some hand cream? Because like I'm feeling a little dry. And he's like, well, how do you keep your skin moisturized? And she said she uses butter.
Butter pats.
Butter pats. And then he goes, well, wait, if I get you lotion, my wife will smell it on you because she, when she's close to you. And Natasha's like, well, your wife's never close to me except when we're having our ceremony. Mm-hmm. So I just won't wear it then. Ugh.
Yeah.
Well, that really bothered me.
It's like how in the concentration camps, the women would have to put blood on their face to make it look moist. So
it's just like
let them stay alive.
Yeah. But it's just like the feeling of, like having to have sex when you don't want to, being violated, and then not feeling your best or attractive. Which is like, just because I feel attractive doesn't mean I want to have sex with you. But like having to have sex with someone and also not feeling your best is like even worse. And I thought it was funny when Natasha's character goes to have sex with the chauffeur, Aidan Quinn. Mm-hmm. It's obvious that she's curled her hair.
Yes.
Like, where'd you get a curling iron from? Mm-hmm. Oh gosh, there's a scene where Faye Dunaway's character is watching herself singing Amazing Grace.
Yeah, because she apparently was a celebrity in her community.
And I bet you Faye Dunaway actually sits at home. Like, she's probably sitting at home right now watching old clips of herself.
And she smokes a lot in this. She's smoking in every scene, I think.
Literally.
She's gardening. It's like, gotta have a Marlboro.
Every scene she's in, she has a cigarette.
When she's watching Amazing Grace, it made me think of when she got fired from that Andrew Lloyd Webber production, and she held a press conference about it. You can find that on YouTube.
Yeah, get on YouTube and yeah. Okay, we need to talk about, before we get to that, when Faye shows Natasha a picture of her daughter and says like, oh yeah, we have her, she's being taken care of, and it's like, why would you show her that? Like, let that lady think her daughter's dead, because this is worse.
Well, that's because Faye knows, right. Serena knows that her husband's sterile, but she also wants a baby, and her part in this game is like, I got to get this lady pregnant, so I have this dangling over her, this transparent dangling carrot. And what the movie I forgot about that you referenced was Svart Krabbe, Black Crab, starring Noomi Rapace
on Netflix. They do something similar in that. Okay, so this sort of like religious morality-based approach to their community is clearly like they just want to maintain this facade of like white Christian.
Yeah.
And Robert Duvall's character even says like they don't want any blacks, they don't want any homos, and like they want to purify everything. And then it's so odd seeing like there are no people of color
until
we get to the sex party, and then we do see non-white people. You know, I mean, I don't remember the book and what the book described as who they are taking, but I'm very curious now to see the TV series to see if they maintain that.
Well, there are Black people in the cast of the television series,
but it makes sense, like for this book, that it would have been like, you know, that they only want white people.
Yeah, again, but a new wave German director making this film is clearly, this is supposed to be them trying to be Aryan, the Aryan race.
I don't have anything else.
It was scripted by Harold Pinter, which is also really interesting, and has competed at the Berlin Film Festival in 1990. Pinter also scripted that same year The Comfort of Strangers for Paul Schrader, and you know, he's a fantastic writer. Apparently Richard, because the book, if you've read it, is all the interiority of Offred, like it's all through her voice in her head. And of course, there was an original script with omniscient narration, and they got rid of that per Pinter, and I think Natasha Richardson was very upset about that. But you know, Schlöndorff is an excellent director. From his first couple of films that he directed with his wife, Margaret von Trotta, are both really good. Right after this, he directed Max Frisch adaptation, Voyager, which I've never seen. And previous to this, he did a television version of Death of a Salesman. Yeah, Schlöndorff is a favorite. I remember very clearly buying this DVD, the version you watched, from Best Buy in Duluth, Minnesota.
Oh, the one I watched yesterday is
that one? Yeah,
Duluth, Minnesota.
For a long time, it was out of print.
Oh.
Raichi Sakamoto did the score, which I also really like. He won an Oscar for Bertolucci's Last Emperor. Recently, did The Revenant. It was shot by Igor Luther, who lends coup de grace for Schlöndorff earlier. But yeah, it doesn't have a beloved legacy. And I think that a lot of people have the tendency to downplay how hard it was to get this made in 1990, have this resilient lesbian character. There are a lot of very powerful images and statements, and I don't think 1990 America was ready for this film. And I think it's really easy to demean for what it's lacking in some regards, but I don't know. I really enjoyed this film.
What would you give it?
3.5.
I would give it 3.5 out of 5. I thought it was very good. And, you know, it's staying true to the book. You know, the ending is what it is.
Well, people were also upset about staying true to the book. Offred is not named in the book. And I think Atwood has said that there are hints that her real name might have been June or something like that.
Junebug.
So they...
That's a reference to the movie Missing with
Nia Long,
Storm
Reed's character.
Coming out next Friday.
But they just Pinter and Schlöndorff just clearly are trying to give this woman an identity prior. And I can see why, to juxtapose what's taken away when she becomes a sex slave. But
so I'll go through the comments. But before I do that, since it's Faye Dunaway's birthday, what's your favorite Faye movie?
Well, Mommy Dearest, but for her qualité films, I don't know, Network.
I would say for performance, Mommy Dearest, but Network is really good.
But so is Bonnie and Clyde, Chinatown, even though she hated Polanski. The other films on this list, I highly recommend Barfly, especially with her bar fight with Alice Kriege, is pretty good. And that's Mickey Rourke and that's a Barbet Schrader film.
I've never seen Dunstan Checks In.
That's a lot of
Pee Wee
fun.
Herman is in it.
Yeah, Paul Rubens, Jason
sorry.
Alexander, I think Rupert Everett. I haven't seen that since I was a kid. I'm forgetting what else was on there. I voted for Handmaid's Tale. What did you vote for? Oh, you can't.
I don't vote because I can't, but to keep it fair, I don't want to be biased. Okay, comments. Are we going to talk about the Golden Globes? Yes, on the podcast tomorrow.
Oh, we are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, just what you think, because I'm sure you've seen all of the films.
Yes.
I may have too, so I could comment, but yeah, as of right now, I don't know who won so I can't say anything yet.
Angela Bassett won and Cate Blanchett won, and that was all I needed to take away. Oh, Michelle Yeoh, yeah. Interesting. But the Lisa Marie news was sad. That did bum me out.
I did see footage of her like at the Golden Globes, and she looked pretty fragile for a 54-year-old.
Sure.
Hi, New York City. Yes, happy birthday, Faye. I wonder where she lives.
I don't know. There's half the homosexuals you talk to in Los Angeles have had Faye sightings, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Whether it's buying cheese or screaming at a movie premiere.
Sadly, I feel like she would not be fun to have coffee with, so I don't even want to ask for that. But
I don't think she has a sense of humor.
No. But she would be fun to, like, if you're at her house and just listen to her bitch about everything.
Again, the young man that pressed charges against her for calling her a little homosexual boy or whatever.
You should be so lucky.
You should be so lucky. You're working for Faye. That would probably be abuse I would tolerate from her.
Someone confirmed she's 82. Yes. Yay, I made it. MAID. Little Big Man.
We did a podcast on that.
What is that about?
With Dustin Penn. Arthur Penn directed. Dustin Hoffman.
He's an indigenous person?
Well, he's been adopted
he's
by
pretending
them.
to
and
be.
Faye Dunaway is in it as the wife that he has sex with.
Oh, that is her. That was a good movie.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Excellent movie.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a movie. So that's actually a lot of people commented that they didn't know there was a movie. Someone read the book in high school. I don't remember if it's that graphic.
I don't remember it being. I mean, it takes a lot for me to think something's graphic, but it's excellent. It's well written. I love The Blind Assassin by Atwood.
Someone said I can't just skip to season 2. Watch me. No,
he will. No, I would never say that. I would agree to that.
Someone's saying they've had a lot of YouTube live chat issues. I can see this message.
I see.
Confirmed. Let's see. Young Torless and the Lost Honor of Katarina Blum.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, those are 2 different movies.
Yeah, that he directed. The Schlöndorff. I think both those are co-directed by his wife at the time. Well, maybe not Young Torless. Lost Honor definitely is. That's also behind Tin Drum is probably one of his most notable. What's her name? Angela Winkler. Great performance.
What does my shirt say? I wish we would have made time for that. That's something Nick says a lot.
Because there's never enough time.
Because there's never enough time. What is the movie that I love that you despise?
Who?
What is a movie I like that you hate? I mean, there are a lot of things I put on that you seem annoyed by, so I don't know. Well, like, you don't think Kingdom Come is as good as I think it is.
It's okay. I mean, it's a little Christian for me.
Yeah, a movie that I like that you hate. I don't know. I have to think about it.
Well,
you'd have to think about it.
You hated Earwig for Opposite.
I didn't hate it.
Okay.
I just didn't think it was.
What's one we got heated over? The Magic Mike sequel? Because I really didn't like that.
I don't even remember that movie.
Oh, okay. You defended it.
I did?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Offred's name in the series is June.
Oh, see, okay.
Logan. It sounds like Logan's Run or Soylent Green.
Those are both like D-grade versions, but Soylent Green. Logan's Run has that great Farrah Fawcett meltdown, and Jenny Gutter, of course, and Soylent Green, Charlton Heston. Oh, God.
Is Ordinary People with Bette Midler?
No, Ordinary People is the Robert Redford directed film with Timothy Hutton and Mary Tyler Moore and Judd Hirsch.
What's the movie with Bette Midler and Richard Dreyfuss? That sounds like Ordinary People then.
It's the remake of Voodoo Saved from Drowning.
Please consider.
Paul Mazursky directed it. I'm blanking on the title.
Consider reviewing From Zero to I Love You.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, it's a Doug Spearman movie. Doug Spearman doesn't like Nick. So we probably wouldn't review that movie.
Yep. And it's all over the film Hot Guys with Guns.
Hot Guys with Guns. Oh gosh, I lost my spot. Hold on. Oh, Faye Dunaway and Supergirl. That's a fun movie.
With Brenda Vaccaro as her little her handmaid.
Yeah, that was fun. Did we watch House of the Dragon? Is that like Lord of the Rings?
It's the prequel to Game of Thrones.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen Game of Thrones.
I tried to get him to watch it. And are you thinking Ruthless People? No.
Ruthless People. Yeah.
Yeah. And isn't
because what's his name? Busey is in it, right?
Gary Busey?
Right?
I don't
He's
remember
like
him.
they think he's a con artist, but he shows them how to be like good people.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, it's a remake of a Jean Renoir film.
The Eyes of Laura Mars is fun.
Well,
it's fun, like especially when she's taking photographs. It's just like, what are you doing?
Well, where are they in that thoroughfare where something's on fire and she's shooting these models and she's doing all these moves as the photographer?
What's the Thomas Crown Affair?
It's a Steve McQueen, Faye Dunaway classic, directed by Norman Jewison, that was remade with in 1999 with Rene Russo and Pierce Brosnan, and Faye has a cameo in it.
Hi from Manhattan, NYC, near the Flatiron Building. That sounds very glamorous to me.
Glamour.
Yeah, now we have 22,000 subs. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Have you seen The Blue Caftan?
Yes, I talked about it on the podcast, actually. And I just watched a succession of films starring Salah Bakri, who I find very captivating. I saw The Band's Visit for the first time as well. But I think I haven't seen him play a gay person before. I also like the woman playing his wife in that, Lubna Azabal, especially for her work in Incendie back in 2009.
Betty Davis once said that she would never work with Faye Dunaway again.
Oh, yeah. Somebody had commented that we should have had The Disappearance of Amy, where Faye is Amy Semple McPherson. And I have a copy of that on a clamshell VHS, which I hold on to dearly. I've only seen it once.
That'll be the first thing I sell when you die. Have you heard of Our Flag Means Death?
Yeah, we talked about it before. When my friends were visiting and we watched part of it.
We did?
Well, you were in the room.
Oh.
With the pirates? Okay, well.
Oh, yes. There's a comedian in it.
Mm-hmm.
Leslie Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't remember, though. Thank you, BMCK. Tin Drum. Is that a movie?
Yeah, I just talked about it. Volker Schlöndorff won the Palme d'Or for it. I read the book by Gunter Grass as well.
We need a shirt that says, I did not care for this movie.
Yeah, actually.
Well, someone's very multimedia, omni-channel multimedia, because they're streaming this on their TV and chatting through the phone.
Oh, wow. Very intellectual indeed.
Oh, gosh. Lost my spot. Okay. Faye Dunaway threw Warren Beatty under the bus by making him read La La Land for...
She did. She sure did. And Warren looking all befuddled.
We need to say hi to Shirley.
Hi, Shirley. It's
what's that song, like Hi Barbara, This is Shirley, or there's this whole R&B song about this woman confronting another woman for sleeping with her man.
And it's definitely
it's
not The Boy's Line.
No, it's an R&B song. Barfly was hard to watch.
Oh, I think you should like it because you like Faye. She gets a part of Faye's hair in that.
You saw Decision to Leave.
Yes.
What would you give it?
I gave it 3.5.
Down and Out in Beverly Hills. Is that the movie I'm thinking
of?
of?
That's the movie you're thinking of.
That's the movie I was thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
But Ruthless People is the title I was thinking
That's
of.
Judd. Not Judd Hirsch. Judd Nelson. Is that
we just recorded
Judge Reinhold.
I like Judge Reinhold. Before we got on this live, we recorded the review for Skinamarink.
Ugh. People are gonna be mad.
What's the tea with you and Doug? He didn't appreciate your review of Hot Guys with Guns, right?
Yeah, well, it was weird because back then I was probably overly eager, and I'm like, "Can you give me a screener of your film, and I'll review it for Outfest?" And he said, "I'll give you a screener, but you have to interview me first," which is never a good idea because I panned the film.
Our first date. We talked about our first date in the last live, didn't we?
We've probably talked about it several times.
It was at a...
Spill the wine. I asked you out.
You ordered not mussels.
No.
Scallops. I don't know what I ordered.
But prior to that, I had invited, because I used to have regular movie nights, and it was during a particular October where I was having not 4 straight people, but there were movie nights straight people would come to, and then like gay movie nights. And I invited you to a movie night for Psycho.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And you were wearing like a button-up. You were trying to look like dressed up.
Yeah, trying.
Trying.
And I was still probably nervous about being bald then, so I was wearing a
You're
Kangol hat.
wearing a Kangol hat with this ill-fitting button-up shirt.
Yeah.
And I had to drive because I didn't want to sit in your car because it was dirty. That's what I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the excellent Faye Dunaway film from 1970, Puzzle of a Downfall Child?
Yes, I have. Jerry Schatzberg directed that. Faye is quite good in it.
Do you consider Brokeback Mountain a good movie? A good gay movie?
I consider it a landmark film for a lot of reasons. I think it hasn't aged well, and I don't mean because straight people are playing gay parts. I think that had gay people made it, some things would have been a little more realistic about it. But I definitely appreciate what it assisted in ushering in a new era of queer cinema.
Noted. Have you seen Close?
Yeah, I think, is this the same person that keeps asking that? We'll be reviewing it this week before you go somewhere. But I have a screener for it. I reviewed it.
I have to watch it?
Yeah, I reviewed it. You'll like it. It's very good.
Is it a drama?
Yeah, but it's about two little boys, and one of them most certainly is gay, having a friendship in Belgium. And yeah.
Okay.
I thought it would have won the Palme d'Or, actually, based on critical reception. But
we are great narrators and story summarizers. Thank you.
That's him.
Oh.
You're good at summary. You are. Yeah.
Thank you. 1984 with John Hurt. I like John Hurt.
Mm-hmm. I mean, excellent Orwellian. I mean, that's the template, right? That's why. Yes, Michael Radford and Richard Burton's in it.
Clamshell VHS takes me back to the days of video stores.
Yeah.
Yeah. The good old days. Towering Inferno.
Yeah, we watched that recently with. You keep saying you don't know White Steve McQueen, but Paul Newman and Faye.
Don't asking me not to talk about death is like asking me not to breathe. That's my entire personality.
It sure is.
By the way, on TV it says you are live at 8 p.m. Oh, okay. Time zones.
Oh, somebody knows the song you're talking about.
Oh wait, I just missed it.
A couple people actually.
Oh wait, what? Okay.
Woman to Woman.
Woman to Woman by Shirley Brown. See? Look at me. Look at us. Who would have thought? Oh, Shirley. Yes, Woman to Woman. I think that's on the soundtrack to Murder. No, Murder Was the Case, or
about
right?
About Snoop Dogg?
Yeah. Isn't there an album? The artist, there's an artist who sings a song called Jewel. My sister's in the background looking it up.
Yeah, tell us.
Yeah, that album had a song, Woman to Woman, and the singer's name is Jewel. And I think her story, like that artist's story, like working with Death Row Records, is pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
No? Okay, I don't know.
Decision to Leave. Yeah, I think the first hour of Decision to Leave is great.
Utaka said Skinamarink was rough. Did you review it? I'm scared to watch other people's reviews because...
But I anticipate you're gonna have to turn the comments off because, yeah.
Well, I don't know. I can't imagine people watching it and thinking it's amazing.
Well, look at the critical reception that it's received thus far. I was gagged and gooped, as they say. Oh.
Every time I tell the first day story, they get new details because I'm making shit up. No. That's how my brain works. What do you think about the Me Up, Tie Me Down?
Tie Me Up, Tie Me Down.
Oh.
That's an Antonio classic.
The Me Up, Tie Me Up, Tie Me Down.
That's a Victoria Briel, like 91 or 93 Almodovar. I remember I had to buy that on Region 2 to see it, and now Criterion thankfully has saved us from that. But yeah, that's excellent. Early Almodovar, usually always pretty good.
Thank you, Al Watch. And good evening and good night to you too.
Oh, thank you.
Favorite Wong Kar-wai film?
Oh, probably In the Mood for Love. I don't know. It's hard to beat Maggie Cheung, but.
Oh, they were asking our first date not with each other.
Oh
gosh. I would have to think about it. I don't even. Wow. Yeah.
I don't know. It's curious. I think we were
Because
also
what is a date? You know, like that's precarious.
there weren't a lot of fish because I was 23 when I met you, so there weren't like a ton of men where I was like, let me take you out to a date.
Well, I remember just like I was maybe like 19, and this older man and he wasn't attractive and invited me to dinner. This was in Las Vegas, and took me to Spago at the Forum Shops, and he thought that was real fancy,
like showgirls, spagos.
And then, well, this is the showgirls thing, and I've told you this story before. Then he took me to the Versace store, the same store in Showgirls, which is across from Spago at that time. Now it's it's not the same, but back in '97, and he was shopping, like trying to show he had money, and then he bought me this like $4,000 orange Versace jacket that I had for years, never wore it once. It was the ugliest thing, and then told me I couldn't return it, so I just had to keep it. And then that was the end of it. I was like, okay, bye, and never heard from this. But I had that ugly jacket until I moved. Oh, that's the album. What is it called?
Murder Was the Case.
And is that lady on there, Jewel?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she redoes it. Yeah, if I got that jacket in '97, I probably threw it away when I moved out.
Yeah, I remember. I think you still did have it when you moved in with me.
Yeah. So I had that thing for like 10, 12, 15 years. I don't know. Not one time did I ever wear it. That was a long story. And anyway.
I probably, if I had monitored you better, I probably would have said, like, give it to me.
I know. You probably would have worn it.
I probably.
But I didn't realize your style until like probably later.
Eclectic, eccentric.
You like colors.
Fabrics.
I got lost again. Which aspect? Oh, wait, hold on. Do you think the Chiefs can go all the way to the Super Bowl? That's not a serious question for us, is it?
Yeah, I don't know. Why not?
Did you like the first Knives Out better than Glass Onion?
I feel pretty ambivalent about them both because I think they both could have been written better.
We'll definitely do a review of Mommy Dearest at some point. We wouldn't review Piggy because we both watched it a while ago. And I don't know that I would want to watch it again to make a review. The first time meeting each other's parents. It went well.
Yeah, I think we had only been dating. My mom, because my sister was going to college in the same city, was younger. My mom was like down every weekend to visit her. She was babied. But so they would visit me a lot, and we were dating. And
Could you check the door?
They went shopping.
Oh, I just told my sister this story that the first time I met your mom, we went Christmas shopping.
Yeah.
And you bought we picked out a wool like pea coat for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you've had that coat since then. So this coat is like 14 years old. And then recently you had it dry cleaned at the dry cleaners by us. Mm-hmm. And it was $50.
Yeah.
So I got upset. Like I'm not paying $50 to dry clean a coat.
You weren't going to. I mean,
so I'm like, let's just buy you a new coat.
They actually keep emailing me.
Abandon it. That's ridiculous. $50 to dry clean a coat.
I mean,
is $50 expensive? I know we live in like LA, but that seems like a lot.
Since the last time I had a dry clean, yeah.
They're not fixing anything. That seems wild as hell.
Anyway, now I have a nice new pea coat, but
thank you.
Because I only really use that for traveling, since I don't really need that kind of a coat here. But another great obscure Faye Dunaway film is Arizona Dream, which was on the list to vote for. I have seen that. One of a couple of Johnny Depp features she did. There's also on YouTube a great look up a Faye Dunaway voicemail where she's talking to somebody and she's irate and she keeps going on about the Costa Rica film.
Yeah.
Because you were thinking she's saying Costa Rica, but it's Amir Costa Rica. Yeah.
What do we think about the Drag Race episode being so short? We haven't watched episode 2, but I saw on social media that it was like 40 minutes or something. Like it's really short. Mm-hmm. But I understood that it was short to accommodate for that new like reality show that comes on after.
Oh,
But I hope not all of the episodes are that short.
well, the last one was 2 hours and 15 minutes, so
That felt very long.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, it's MTV and I don't know. Arizona Dream.
yeah, just talked about that.
Okay. I got lost again.
Elizabeth Hussey suing studio over Romeo and Juliet. Is that not? Do you mean Olivia Hussey and the Zeffirelli version? Because I'm not quite sure actually. Is it because they show her naked in that?
Ooh, Faye Dunaway has an adopted son, and for years she pretended she gave birth, but her ex-husband outed her.
Yeah, she mentions that in that voicemail.
She does?
Yeah.
What does she say?
Well, I don't remember verbatim, but that's why there are images of her son and somebody saying you're adopted. Like whoever put the montage of images in that video is directly referencing that.
Wow. Okay.
You'll have to watch it again. I don't know if we've showed it to your sister.
I didn't return the jacket because I recall him saying like if like you remove the tag, you can't, and then he ripped the tag off, like ensuring that I wouldn't give it back.
And now you're mine.
Like, give me the $3,000 or $4,000, whatever it costs. Don't make me take home this ugly Halloween jacket. You better pray the Chiefs don't face the Bengals. I mean, this is like a foreign language to me. I don't know anything about football.
I mean, I love Manic Monday.
Could we go more into depth about the type of movie we want to make?
It's a queer psychological thriller.
Yes. And I would say it's sort of a twisted love story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. That's about as much as I would say. Maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Trying to, because I'm all about the story.
Yes.
Like it needs to be, for my taste, I want to be able to tell a story and people go like, what? Like, that was the perspective I was coming from.
Mm-hmm.
So that's about as much as I can say now, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Did I see the Omari Hardwick Janet shade? No. I saw that she posted a picture of
from For Colored Girls
and said like, because she always, whenever it's someone's birthday, she never says happy birthday. She always says sending you love on your special day or something. And she does that for every celebrity she posts about. But yeah, I didn't see the shade.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite Jake Gyllenhaal movie? The first one that comes to my mind is Nightcrawler.
He's good in Nightcrawler, probably, or that or Donnie Darko. Or, I think he gives a very similar performance in The Good Girl opposite Jennifer Aniston as well.
I would review Death Becomes Her and Serial Mom.
Oh my, yeah. I mean, Serial Mom.
Yeah, White Lotus, the first season. Now I don't remember the first season.
With Jennifer Coolidge and Natasha What's-Her-Face.
And those badass girls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think, do you like season 1 or season 2 better?
I thought that I was highly entertained by both. Season 2, I probably got into more because I think I felt more for like Jennifer Coolidge and Aubrey Plaza.
I think I was more invested in season 2,
like particularly with those two women.
But honestly, I don't remember a single plot point from season 1. Oh, except that the one like handsome hotel worker
Mm-hmm.
gets arrested for stealing,
Mm-hmm. And he's doing drugs and he poops in that guy's luggage.
Oh,
God.
The Polynesian kid, not the white guy.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
But yes, the white hotel manager like shits in a closet or something.
And then what's her name? Alexandra Daddario. Oh, and Molly Shannon.
Oh, the mom
Mm-hmm.
of, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I like season 2.
Okay. I like them both.
Someone paid $60 to dry clean their winter coat. Okay. Yeah, let's do a GoFundMe to get the coat out of dry cleaning. They don't deserve the $50. That's outrageous. $50? But then someone paid $60, so I don't know. Wait, Faye Dunaway made an appearance on the Soul Food TV
television series?
No.
I
Wow.
love
What did she play?
I love Nicole Ari Parker. I don't know. She's also in a couple episodes of Alias, I remember too.
Okay, well, we need to find I have to subscribe to BET Plus now so I can watch Soul Food.
Well, Faye played Mae West in a film as well.
She looks like her. Well, after her facelift. Yeah.
Yeah, this is like the early, like a 1999 film. I'm forgetting the title. You can look up clips.
Have you seen Dallas Doll?
No. Something about Sandra Bernhardt you skipped over, but
Oh, yeah, that was it. Dallas Doll with the great Sandra Bernhardt.
no, I haven't. But I would watch I watched something for her. Yeah.
Someone watched Death and the Maiden for the first time in over a decade. Sigourney was fantastic.
Yes, she is in that.
Yeah, would have pocketed the cash.
Torch Song Trilogy is depressing, but it is very good and was an important film too.
Oh yeah, maybe Janet doesn't say happy birthday because of the Jehovah's Witness thing. But yeah, I don't know what was shady about it. About to watch the movie Sick. Do you know a movie called Sick?
I need more. I'm blinking, but that sounds sick.
We'll do a live vote or a poll for John Waters for sure.
Oh yeah. It's a 2022 film. I haven't seen it.
Ooh, Faye did an episode of CSI. I would watch that. We need to find that one. I saw A History of Violence with You at the Landmark in Minneapolis.
No, you didn't. The Cronenberg film
with Viggo Mortensen.
You haven't seen that with me. That came out in like 2006.
Oh, then I saw it at the Landmark in Minneapolis.
Okay, but not with me.
I assumed it was with you. Okay.
Did we watch the Best Man series? No.
I
like all of those people, but and I've actually never seen the first Best Man film. I've only seen the Best Man Holiday, which I thought was a little crunchy. But again, it's nice that all those people get something major to work on. I would much rather see the other Nia Long items that she has coming out this month, especially the Kenya Barris film.
Faye was amazingly histrionic in The Temp.
Oh, we've seen it with
we have?
Yeah, with what's that lady's name? Laura Flynn Boyle. And isn't Timothy Hutton in that? It's bad.
Laura Flynn Boyle.
Remember when she dated Jack Nicholson?
Yes, actually. People are saying nice things. Thank you. What's your favorite movie soundtrack? Yours is The Women.
Soundtrack?
The Hours.
I like the Philip Glass, but I also like the Mishima soundtrack as well.
Gosh. I mean, I used to listen to the Bodyguard soundtrack all the time, but not in years.
Oh, the Blade soundtrack I used to listen to the year that came out. Because there's this, whatever that opening song is at that party where Tracy Lords gets killed. I would with my Mazda 626, the first car I owned, that was what
Mazda 626.
That and Dirty Vegas, that Dirty Vegas song where I had on repeat.
I also liked the Boys in the Hood soundtrack, mainly for that song by Tevin Campbell.
Tevin.
Yeah. He looks great.
Mm-hmm.
He looks happy.
Especially for what he's been through, yeah.
Yeah. That sounds normal for dry. Oh God. So am I just poor? Like, why do I think that is so much money to dry clean a coat? Faye was Terry Joseph's lawyer boss in the later series of Soul Food. They had a very complex relationship, very rich performances. Ooh, I'm very curious.
Nicole Ari Parker, The Incredibly True Stories of Two Girls in Love. Yes, which I just watched recently.
Yeah.
You know, she's also in A Map of the World with Sigourney Weaver.
Oh. We watched Skinamarink last night and we made the video this morning, so I'll post it later today. Well, that's also why I usually don't buy clothes that need to be dry cleaned as well, because that's outrageous. But you know, your winter coat, obviously, you can't help it. Have you heard the Go soundtrack?
You know, I've never seen Go.
Someone paid $140 to dry clean an authentic kimono from Japan.
Well, that's worth it.
Well, that makes sense because they need to take more care.
Yeah.
Not the Mazda 626.
The 10 Commandments. Ugh. Oh God, Moses.
We'll just get a bunch of nasty comments if we review that movie.
I love Yul Brynner.
Oh, you know the Party Monster soundtrack. I'm sure that is. I mean, because
that is an excellent. Yeah, Nina Hagen, Vitalik, Ladytron. Yes.
We talked about Alien 3 on the podcast, right?
I'm sure we have
because we watched it, and then Alien Resurrection we haven't talked about.
No, that's the one we talked about. Alien Resurrection. I watched. I rewatched on my birthday.
Tomb Raider soundtrack. Okay.
With Angelina.
Will we be watching The Last of Us?
I'm not sure. What is that?
Oh, he doesn't know what it is.
Well, it's just like somebody brought up Beau is Afraid, and I'm like, I know that title. I forget that's what Ari Aster changed the title to, because forever it was known as Disappointment Boulevard.
Wait, the movie goes with Johnny Depp, right? Oh, what's the movie with Johnny Depp where he's like a drug lord or something?
Oh, the Pedro Pascal series. I don't know. The Last of Us.
That's a series.
Yeah.
Probably not.
No, actually, Sarah Polley, who just directed Women Talking, is the star of Go.
Faye did an episode of Columbo. Someone needs to curate all these episodes and send me links so I can watch them.
Faye.
Oh gosh! So now we got to watch season 6 of CSI. Okay.
We don't have to.
I want to see her.
Yeah, we don't have to watch the whole season.
No, but we need to find her episode. It's a 9-episode series starting on Monday. The Last of Us. Oh.
Yeah, Faye had a TV series in the early '90s. Isn't like it was Robert Urich?
What are your favorite animated films?
Inside Out was pretty good. Belladonna of Sadness, Spirited Away. I don't know. I'd have to curate. I'd have to do a better job curating, but those three pop to the top of my head.
Oh, the movie I'm thinking about is Below with Johnny Depp.
Yes, with Penelope Cruz, where Pedro Almodovar made snarky comments about it.
Oh, Faye is in The Three Musketeers.
Mm-hmm.
Party Girl has a good soundtrack.
Yeah, she's the Milady, isn't she?
Milady.
Mm-hmm.
Maling. Oh, Maling.
Maling.
Oh, we started the Evita movie starring Faye Dunaway, but we didn't finish it.
Because I bought you a bootleg version of that years ago, and there's a rape scene in that is.
We need to rewatch or just watch it.
Yes, I forget who's playing Juan Perón, but anyway.
And then what is October Sky?
Oh God, I've never seen a Laura Dern and Jake Gyllenhaal. That was kind of a breakout of his in '98 or '99.
Have you seen Lost Highway?
Oh, of course. Actually, I reviewed that on Ion Cinema for the restored version that Janus Films put out. Right, it's on Criterion now. I liked it. It was fun to rewatch. Robert Blake is very creepy in that.
Someone liked Pale Blue Eye. That's good.
Good. I mean, I didn't love it. I don't know. I like Christian Bale. I didn't love it.
Oh, wow. We should probably wrap up. Passing on Netflix. Why does that sound familiar?
Because it's the Rebecca Hall film that was in my top. That was my number 2 film that year.
The Wicked Lady.
The Wicked Lady. Faye is given in every scene. She has given it to you, and you know that's a remake of a Gainsborough melodrama from the '40s, which I own a copy of that I've never seen. Because it's fun.
All right. Well, I don't know what the next theme will be, but I have some ideas.
Well, next week we won't have one.
Oh, that's right. It'll be the following week.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so it'll probably be. Oh no, that's before Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well.
That is Sigourney behind us with Janet.
Yeah.
Photographed together
on the oven hood.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite movie about dry cleaning? My Beautiful Laundrette. No.
Yeah.
No, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, actually. Wow, you're on it.
Yeah.
We tapped into a portion of your mind today.
It's all the chemicals in my diet soda. We live in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we will end. It's a rainy day,
mm-hmm.
so we can't do much, I guess. But
Movies.
Eat and
watch movies.
Watch movie. Do you have anything else you want to say?
No.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Final notice.